Hello, welcome to UHL. It is week 5. We have an amazing matchup. We have O'Leary versus Rod Johnston. I am Wicked Good. I am here with Jordan Lingo of the Daring Reporter. His first time casting, so folks, be kind and gentle. I am excited. I don't know if you are, Jordan. I've actually got to cast your match with O'Leary the last time, so now you're on the other side of the desk.
Yes, good. Yeah. Looking forward to it. I'm excited to have this opportunity. I've never casted before. Kind of nervous, but very excited to talk about people playing Hearthstone.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. So we have O'Leary, who is 3-1 in the community conference, against Rod, who is 1-3. Both of them bringing whatever is closest to top tier meta decks, as we have 4 days out from a nerf patch. And this week is kind of the unusual week as far as what the players are going to choose to bring. Mm-hmm. Let me just take a second, and just for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'll remind you that the format of the UHL is we go for 7 weeks of the regular season, and each player brings 3 classes each week, and once those 3 classes are chosen, they cannot be played again until all 9 classes have been played in that 3-week set. So the players had the choice of any decks or any classes that they wanted to bring prior to the nerf patch, and now they're working with what's remaining. So as someone who competes in the league, and you already had to go through this, like, Jordan, what's your thought process when you're kind of trying to figure out what to bring this close after a nerf and maybe not having a whole lot of time to practice with the decks?
Yeah, so let's see. I brought a control. Okay, so I based my lineup on what I thought Red Knight would be bringing. So I just brought a lot of healing and armor because I figured he would be bringing some aggro decks, but that wasn't the case regardless. I kind of had to just play certain stuff as quickly as I could. So I brought a paladin, I brought a druid, and I don't even remember. Oh, big mage, that's right. So I just brought what I was comfortable with, and also stuff that I figured would just be generally good. I couldn't really base anything off of existing strategies. I just kind of had to bring what I thought might work.
Yeah.
That's really what it came to.
Yeah, and it also goes into what your strategy was going into week 4, knowing that the nerfs were coming, what you bring and what you leave for yourself after. Right. I know that, when Andrew and I consult with him on decks occasionally, and he and I were talking about it, and his strategy was basically, well, I'm going to bring what's good because I don't know if it's going to be good next week, and I know it's good now, so I'm going to play them now.
Right.
So what it looks like, what we have this week from the players is O'Leary has a Tempo Rogue, a Spell Hunter, and a Quest Rogue. And the Quest Rogue and the Quest Warrior. Sorry, it gets crazy, but not that crazy.
Big difference.
So the Quest Warrior. So the Quest Warrior and the Tempo Rogue are decks that she brought in previous weeks that she's already comfortable with and really haven't changed too much. And then the Spell Hunter. And then Rod has the Quest Priest. He has the Quest Priest. He has I'm sorry.
Miracle Rogue.
Yeah.
Miracle Rogue and an even Hand Warlock.
Yeah, an even Handlock, right. So those are 3 decks that are, Miracle Rogue's been around for a while, but it's just now actually playable. Yep. I saw a couple people, Boticus was actually extremely excited about that being a thing. And then the Even Warlock is something that just came out a couple of days ago. And the Quest Priest is something that kind of materialized, started as a meme, and then worked its way out. So as far as how these decks line up, what are your thoughts as far as how we expect this match to go?
So it looks like Rod's going for a more... I would say he's going for a more slow, value-oriented strategy, but honestly, O'Leary's is kind of like that too. I think he might have just a little bit more control on the side, because O'Leary's bringing Spell Hunter and a kind of a Tempo Rogue with a little bit of tricky stuff. So she might need to be the one pushing the tempo, trying to kill him before he just heals up out of range.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's interesting is that Spell Hunter versus the Quest Priest, if that lines up, because the Quest Priest is looking to just fatigue out and run you out of resources, and eventually the Spell Hunter's going to find Deathstalker Rexar, and that's not going to happen. So that'll be interesting to see how that lines up.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how these line up, but I think we're going to we're gonna have the players go into game. So as they're getting set up, so you're looking at these two lineups. What are you thinking as far as who you would what classes you would queue up first going into this?
All right, so if you're going against a hunter, warrior, and a rogue, if you're a Rod, you're probably assuming she's bringing quicker stuff. Even Warlock is, in the past week, has proved to be really good at just controlling things. So I think Rod might start with even Warlock. Illyri, Rogue seems to... Actually, Quest Warrior seems to be the strongest against like a Priest or Rogue or Warlock, so maybe she'll start with that? I don't really know. Yeah, I think she started with...
Yeah, one thing that I've heard is, I think Casey, pro player, was saying that he thinks that Quest Warrior is favored against, like, nearly everything. Okay, so I need... so I'm just waiting for the players to get set up, and we should be getting in momentarily.
Yep.
So we're just waiting for that to... Okay, there we go. Okay. And I have to wait for my mouse to actually let me do the thing, so...
So it looks like Rod's starting with his Miracle Rogue, and Illyri is starting with her Spell Hunter.
Yeah, and I will be bringing that to you as soon as the spectator client decides to get caught up with everything, so... Okay, here we go. So yeah, we do have Illyri on the Spell Hunter. We have, on the bottom, we have Rod Johnston. On the top with the Rogue. And it looks like Illyri has a bunch of secrets, but no Spellstone. Looks like Rod has a lot of stuff that will be nice once he gets set up, though he does have that Hench Clan Thug in the hand that he's obviously going to want to get set up ahead of the auctioneer turn.
Yeah, that's going to push a little bit of tempo, make Illyri have to do some controlling, but she's starting out on the board with that 4/4 taunt. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, normally you want Huffer, but in this case, with the Hench Clan Thug about to come down, that kind of puts a monkey wrench in Rod's plans, because he obviously wants to get that Hench Clan Thug down, but if he does, that's just going to get traded off.
Yeah, exactly.
He does have an ability, if he wants to build up a big Edwin. He could go Prep Fan Edwin with the coin, even if he really wanted to. He actually could go Prep Fan Edwin, Shadow Step Edwin. Coin Edwin, if you really want to just completely go off. But I'm not sure, against the Spell Hunter that can run Freezing Trap, I don't know if that's the kind of thing you want to do.
Right. It would be a shame to invest all of that resources into something that just gets taken away.
Yeah. So, looks like he is going to just play... Oh, no, I don't know. He was thinking about playing out the Hench Clan Thug. He's got a rope starting to burn, so he is going to play that out. And just run his face into the forefront.
I guess he figures it just trades evenly. Because, in a sense, he is somewhat of a control in this matchup as well.
Yeah. So that Planetary Strike with the Candle Shot cleans that up really nicely. All of a sudden, Illyri's starting to get a pretty scary roll. And Fan of Knives is not what the doctor ordered, I don't think. So that Vile Spine will take out the taunt, and then leave a 3 for the challenge. That does help a little bit.
But it looks like Illyri has the same exact play this turn, if she wants.
She may be thinking about setting up some of those secrets ahead of getting Deathstalker Rexar down. The secrets, obviously, she wants to try to hold on to until she can find a Spellstone, but however long, that could be a little away. But yeah, it does decide to go for the same play, and now without having and Rod is a turn away from that auctioneer. But, yeah, and this is
gonna draw.
Gonna draw and try to find something. Another Cold Blood is not going to help him out of this situation. And just goes face at a pretty scary life total already. Facing down another 9 damage just from what's on board, and there's the Spellstone.
Whew, she can upgrade that twice if she wants to.
And I can't imagine she wouldn't want to, because, I mean, she's looking at Deathstalker Rexar. I don't know that you necessarily would want to even give up the standard Hunter hero power at this point.
So at this point, does she realize that he's got Miracle?
She probably has no idea what he is right now, because all she knows is that he's not running Baku.
You could think that he's Kingsbane. Either way, you just want to go face.
Yeah. But I mean, this play setting up the explosive trap she is going to set up the Wandering Monster as well. Mm-hmm. This kind of protects her from any sort of I mean, I don't even think she's necessarily worried about some sort of a lever play. But here comes the Auctioneer turn. So we're gonna have the Auctioneer comes down into prep, and Ra has a bunch of options. He can sap one of those wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Yeah, he could still shadow step if he wanted.
Incredible.
To. But this is, this is just lethal. She's got the Eagle Horn Bow, the Arcane Shot, and the Hero Power with the Wolf on board. That's just lethal.
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, that's lethal.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
very
much quicker game than I expected.
Yeah. Just all that early pressure, especially just starting with the Animal Companion off of the Misha off of the Animal Companion was just way too much. And all of a sudden, Illyria is up to a very fast 1 game lead. So, I mean, I didn't expect that to go that way for sure. I mean, that seems like that's a more back and forth game, and even the secrets can sometimes throw a wrench into things. But I mean, that was just not how fast you expect Hunter to go.
Yeah, I was having flashbacks during that game to my match against Daniel, where I also brought Miracle Rogue, but it was, all classic and basic cards Miracle Rogue, and he was bringing Face Hunter, and it went pretty much that same way. I had no way to control the board, and he just pressured me down until I died, and you saw the same exact thing with Illyria and Rod.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant performance. So Illyria still has the Quest Hunter, the Quest Warriors, Quest Hunter. Good, listen to me. Good grief, the Quest Warrior and the Tempo Rogue. Now that the Hunter is found to win. Before we go into that, we're just going to remind you that that United Hearthstone League is brought to you by Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/UnitedHSLeague to support the league. A lot of the players and the casters and all the people who are creating content are giving their time to bring the league to you and make it as great as it can be. Though there are some things that do cost money, and we want to make sure that those things are accounted for. And any overage goes into making the league just that much better. And I mean, we've had a huge step up from season 1 to season 2, going from all self-casted games to being able to get a series of casters and get a stream where you'll be featuring all of the games or most of the games. And there are other things that would be great to be able to do, and those come with your support. So we do want to make sure that we thank Zeroshio and Runes, who are our patrons right now. You also get access to a Patreon-only channel within the United Hearthstone League Discord, among other perks that you can find on the Patreon page. So please do go and support that and help us continue to do this, because we love doing it and we want to do more of it. Okay, so we're going into game 2. Illyria has the Quest Warrior and the Tempo Rogue, and Rod is still sitting with all 3 of those classes. What are you expecting to see going into game 2 from the players?
Well, what I expect to see is not necessarily what I would love to see, which is that Quest Priest. If Rod can pull out the Quest Priest and Illyria plays Quest Warrior, that will be an interesting match.
We might be here for a while. Yeah. I mean, it's almost good for Rod that the Spell Hunter's out of the way with the Quest Priest, because that could be a disaster for him. But I mean, that Spell Hunter is still, still got the win. But anyway, we are getting into game 2, It is about to get underway, and we have the Tempo Rogue versus the Even Warlock. So this is a new deck that just kind of, it was starting to be a thing, the Even Warlock, right before the nerfs happened, and then since the nerfs to Possessed Lackey and Dark Pact, well, Even Warlock doesn't really care because those cards couldn't play anyway. And Turn 3 Mountain Giant, turns out, is pretty good.
Yeah, I know Asmodai, the streamer, was playing this last night, as well as Show today, so it's becoming very popular in the more popular streamers, so you can probably expect to see it just as much as Q-Block now.
Yeah, and Show got top 10 Legend, I think Monsanto got top 1 Legend with this variation that that Rod is playing with the Dread Infernal. Vulgar Homunculus coming down, no Spellstone to buff up, but also no Mountain Giant in hand, so it's okay for Rod to be playing cards out of his hand right now. And O'Leary has Hallucination.
That could be spicy.
Yeah. Oh, this is the test tempo deck, right? This is...
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
So
it has Screaming.
Yeah. So that... You know, that could create some interesting shenanigans, especially with Warlock, but it's a little too early for that, but this Backstab SI is going to clean up the Vulgar Homunculus and start building up a board from there.
This guy's tough.
I like that play. Kind of switch the board state. Get set up. Ooh. Rod's got a Rin condition in his hand. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Rin is still a good card. It's a little bit harder to proc it.
Yeah.
Given that you don't have Dark Pact, but it's still a taunt that you need to go through. So Leary gets to choose between a Dark Pact, a Corruption, a Chittering Tunneler, and a Void Lord. Void Lord is, you know, one of the best cards out of there, and this Mystery is also going to clean up this Doomsayer and keep the board.
Yep. And you figure if it gets down to it, and she plays Test Greymane after playing Void Lord, she gets another Void Lord.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, depending on how much room she has, but I don't think she's going to get that many spells, but... And Rod just tapping, I mean, does open him up to be able to drop this Mountain Giant next turn. Despicable Dreadlord's one of the best things you could get off the Blink Fox, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a strong body.
Yeah.
You can play it next turn to put more pressure on the board.
Yeah, so this... He does have this Mountain Giant that he wants to get down. It's going to be... he's just going to sit there, and O'Leary can choose to run right by it. No Vile Spine in hand yet. There's a face...
She could also backstab it and trade both the Blink Fox and the SI into it, but you gotta wonder, if I'm O'Leary, you think, okay, he could give the Giant Taunt, which that would be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Looks like she's just running right by, though.
Yeah, and the one thing that's going to make this a little bit awkward is that the Dreadlord's going to take away the ability to backstab, but O'Leary also has Rod down to 12.
Oh, yeah.
and it happened really quickly. Like, I wasn't even looking at the life total. I looked up, and that's 12 life. Like, wow, that went pretty quick, but that's also... I mean, Rod has ways to heal. He does have a Spellstone in hand.
So many
I don't believe that's upgraded yet.
No, the only way he can upgrade it right now is to play that Dread Infernal, but at the same time, I'll put him down to 12.
Yeah. Well, now
there is also Hellfire.
Hellfire here is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that clears the board, upgrades his Spellstone. He's just gotta hope that, you know, she doesn't have, what, 9 damage from hand after this?
Yeah, I mean, Leroy Coldblood is the thing that really has to be in his mind. It's not in hand right now, but that's something that you might have to be worried about. And putting down the ring does block out a lot of this damage. There comes the Coldblood, though.
Yeah.
That's not enough right now. I can't imagine Rod's going to be getting a lot of use out of these seals if O'Leary does pop the Rin. Oh, and
no, I mean, she can't worry about the Rin. I mean, she's already got him down to, let's see, at this point it's 7. I mean, she might trade into the Giant.
Yeah, I would expect her to trade into the Giant with the 1-2. I don't think it's really doing a whole lot else for her. Yeah, and so she does. And now Rod's down to 8. I don't think she's worried about seals. I mean, if she's playing seals, she's just killing him. Yeah,
Man.
so Rod has a lot of cards, but not a lot of options. Because he can't really buff up that Spellstone. He can take out the Blink Fox, at least, heal up for 3. The Dread Infernal really doesn't do a whole lot.
So does he defile Hellfire and then hope for the best?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, he doesn't know. And Illyri just throwing out the well played, even though she doesn't actually have the lethal. But she could draw into it with this Minstrel, potentially. I don't think there's a tail drop in her deck that's going to do 5 damage. But that Vile Spine, oh, well, that deckhand's going to get her closer. Oh, she attacked the weapon first.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, no, and I mean...
Mistakes were made.
She got so excited. There's the emotes.
I mean, that's a classic play I do all the time when I play Rogue, which is why I don't play Rogue a whole lot. Yeah, I mean,
you gotta wonder, does Rod have Sun Fury Protector in this deck?
I believe he does. I would have to look at the list again.
Yeah, he has 2 copies of Sun Fury Protector, which would give his gigantic butt minions taunt, but he's not drawn into it.
Yeah, that does heal him up for 5, which is helpful from the Hellfire activating last turn, though this giant is going to meet an unfortunate end. And Rod's back on the ropes again.
At this point, he's just trying to hold on to Gul'dan.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a big draw.
Huge.
That is a big draw.
That is a big draw right there. That is a top deck. 4/4 Hooked Reaver, if you haven't seen it before, 4/4 that gets +3/+3 in taunt when you're below 15, and Rod is very much below 15 right now.
Yes, he is.
And Illyri can chew through this with what's on board, but she doesn't have a lot of reload in her hand right now. And that Plated Beetle is going to be an investment for later.
There's Leroy.
Oh, there's Leroy, and that's lethal.
Yeah.
We'll see if she sees it. I would imagine she would be counting furiously right now, but
Oh, going 2 there.
Yep. Trade everything off. Leroy for exactly.
Wow. Well done.
That was something.
Well played.
Yeah, that was exciting. That looked like Rod was just about to stabilize, was just starting to close the door, and then Illyri was able to just find the Leroy for the last opportunity before he started healing up and getting himself out of range. So really well played by both of them, both for Rod for staying alive for as long as he did, and Illyri for being able to find that lethal. We'll just take a second and oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it was good that Illyri recognized she really needed to be pressuring him because that deck has many ways to come back. So and we saw he was just about to, and so yeah.
I mean, that was the window was starting to close, and Illyri just was able to push enough damage to just get everything through before he was able to heal up sufficiently, and that was real great recognition from her part. So. We'll just take a second to remind you that we have one more game on the calendar for tonight. I will be back here casting that with you along with Bodicus at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that will be Ziggy Sarah versus Mike Lowe. So that'll be a pretty fun game as well. Both of those great players who tend to bring unique decks on from time to time. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with the Blue Ocean right after a nerf patch. Yeah. So we're gonna let the players go in. We have Illyri, who only has that Quest Warrior left, and Rod having all 3 classes. I know you want to see the Quest Priest as much as I do. But I don't know what we're gonna see. But I'm kind of hoping to. Even though it means we're going to be in these chairs for a while, and that is exactly what we're getting.
Wow. All right. This will be interesting.
Yeah. So, Quest Warrior, a staple of the Ungoro meta, and Quest Priest, very much not. But and this is again, this is a deck that kind of started out a couple of like a week or two before the nerfs. Andrew brought this week 3, I believe, and that was the first time I'd seen it. And it relies on just cycling through death rattles as quickly as possible, getting Amara down, and then Zola, the Gorgon, to get an extra Amara and be able to heal up for 40 life, 40 health twice, and then followed up with Archbishop Benedictus to just go full on the fatigue plan.
Yep, and you sit there, heal yourself, hold their head while they're swinging their arms at you, and you just watch as they slowly lose their life.
Yeah, there's this great gif I have of Charizard just like standing on the head of some smaller Pokemon and just seeing them running at him, and that's a lot what it feels like playing against the Quest Priest sometimes. So it's kind of going to be on Illyri to go as quickly as she can.
Not quite what was
absolutely.
I don't know how quickly this deck can go.
It looks like
greetings.
Strong emo games here.
That Blackwell Pixie will help though. That's something that happens in the odd list. That could be 16 damage later in the game, but for right now, armoring up for 8 is not really what Illyri needs.
Yeah, I mean, back in week 2, Illyri killed me with 16 damage from her hero power with that same exact Blackwalled Pixie, so I know the pain that it can cause. It'll be interesting. So she has the defined win condition of kill him. So it's going to be up to her to make sure she gets that hero power and start hitting him.
Yeah, and that's what she's doing, or she's trying to at least, so... Rod can clear... Well, he can't clear this out with the Dustbreaker yet because he doesn't have a dragon, but he can play that with Apple, which is going to give him some sustain while he's waiting for Amara to come. And the Tarlord's an interesting... I think that was in her deck the first time, too. That's an interesting choice. Not a lot of players are bringing, but this Shield Slam could clean up this Apple Bomb pretty easily, and... Cleaning it up now, while Rod's almost at full life, is going to be better than waiting, I would imagine.
Now?
So, we're looking at, I mean, other options. She has a Direhorn Hatchling that she could just drop, but I would imagine that getting a Tar Creeper... Well, I guess she has to armor up if she's going to Shield Slam. And then that kind of takes any of the other minions off the table for the time being. So. Yeah, looks like she's just gonna armor up, get the armor on board, and then take some of this health off this Apple Bomb.
Mind if I roll knee?
So Rod's at 3 of 7 on his quest, just healing up that Apple Bomb, getting it. Getting it lined up, and again, Illyri has this choice to be able to oh, sorry, I think we just lost. Get back in. That's why he's getting quiet. I was talking to him for a minute. We'll get Jordan back in a second. But it looks like Rod is going to use that Twilight Call to both proc the quest and
Mind if I roll knee?
And he's going to get it. And all of a sudden, it is turn 6, and Rod has that quest complete. And Illyri is a couple of turns away, but she's getting there herself. She's got like a board of 1/1s, and this is, she really doesn't want to brawl this. She can clean up 2 of them with just the minions that we have on board. And Tarlord is going to be the best on curve play, so she's going to choose to get that out and get her. And trade off. Oh, she's not. Yeah, it looks like she's deciding whether she wants to trade off the plated beetle or just go face. She's deciding to trade off that plated beetle, but these loot hoarders are actually going to draw Rod into more of his answers. And now he's really going to be looking for that gold Organ to try to be able to just go infinite against this Quest Warrior, and then be able to have as much life as he possibly can. And this Dustbreaker will clean up everything but the
Meddlesome insects.
Shuffling Dire Matriarch into the deck, and may as well play Crystalline Oracle, because why not? Just or maybe not. Looks like he's not. Looks like he's gonna look for Psychic Scream. I mean, I guess that gets a big board of taunts off of the table, and Illyria can finish up the quest right now if she wants to by playing 2 of these Phantom Militias.
Rotten to my core.
Job done. And
Hello?
so,
Can you hear me?
oh, yep, you're back.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, sorry about. Yeah, I noticed on your video that you were looking very pensive, and you were looking very pensive for a very long time.
See, from my end, I thought that I had lost you, so I was continuing the stream on my own, hoping that you would be next.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was doing. So, Rod's choosing to get the Shadow Reaper handling down right now, taking out that Tar Lord, and then putting some damage on the Rotten Apple Bomb. I'm not sure if that's the way I would have done that play, just because it feels early in a fatigue match where you know you're going to have to outlast a lot of rag shots, but, you know, it also is valid just remove a minion clearly to be able to start pushing damage if that's what he decides his game is.
Yeah, because at this point, I doubt he'll be able to last long enough to fatigue if she keeps doing, 8 damage every turn. I mean, I guess he can start to put more minions down to try to dilute that damage and hope that he doesn't get hit in the face. But
yeah,
she's got her quest completed now. So
yeah, and Psychic Screaming these Phantom Militias is actually kind of problematic because
yeah.
Now she's got 3 of those that can generate 3 more taunts whenever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the Rag Hero Power. So she got 14 armor, and it's time to start going face.
Yeah. You could also think, you know, he's hoping to get Archbishop Benedictus online, and maybe he wants to steal those Phantom Militia for himself.
Yeah, that could be. He doesn't have that in hand yet. Looks like he's just gonna put some small things on the board and draw through the deck a little bit with this Mirage Caller. And then put more things to confuse the rag shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's not quite time for Blackwalled Pixie yet. Not with this board.
No.
And
She
going to... Oh, maybe it
steadily
is.
reduce. Oh wow.
I guess it is Pixie time.
Astonishing.
Oh.
That's
He
16
just
damage into
dodged.
2/11s. That
He
never
just
feels
dodged
good.
2 meteor-sized bullets right
Wow.
there.
That's killing a fly with a sledgehammer is what that is.
Poor Blood Mage Thalnos.
Yeah, and that Direhorde Matriarch coming out of Illyri's deck with the Crystalline Oracle is a heck of a pickup.
Yeah.
And that lives through a rag shot. I mean, she can trade it off if it hits it, but yeah.
It's true. She also has a 50% on a brawl. Although
She could improve those odds if she wants to. She could play the Acolyte of Pain. And that is going to trade in. That means just worked, even though it never got to attack.
So Rod could, if he wanted to, mind control that.
He could very well. He's got a lot of things he can do. He does have Amara and Zola available to him whenever he's ready for them. This is not really the time for it, but that is something that he's going to have. And yeah, the death does clean this up and away. And will heal him if that gets hit too. Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Nice. Yeah, at this point, he can't really rely on fatigue to kill her. He has to kind of present the threats and survive as long as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so long he's going to be able to live through 8 damage rag shots, and he's going to be able to put some stuff on the board, but... yeah, and mind controlling that 1/3 doesn't seem like a great option. And the Spirit Lashes right now is dead. Psychic Scream on an Acolyte of Pain.
Wow.
Woo. And that the problem with that play is it also leaves him with a board coming back the other way. I might have thought about even just playing out like a Mirage Caller on its own instead. Well, I guess she could just trade that off with the axe. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And here come 2 of those taunts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the one thing that's going for Rod right now, is that she just doesn't have very many things left to do.
You are safe now.
And here's a Mono.
Alright, buckle in, everybody. Make some popcorn, get that microwave burrito done, and come on back.
I mean, you could probably make a whole steak dinner on the grill at this point.
Actually, yeah, I'll go heat up some coals.
Yeah, and
alright.
I mean, a brawl seems like the way that Illyri would want to go here, because, I mean, the only other option is just hoping that the rag shot hits Amara.
Yeah, because for her, there's a 4 in 5 chance that she can clear off whatever's left if it's not hers.
Yeah. And there comes the brawl. So we'll see who does that. And it is the Amara that lives.
Wow. Still goes past her
anyway.
And
goes face. So there's the Benedictus.
There he is.
Are we ready for some news? And
there's the Benny.
And all of a sudden, Rod goes from 6 cards in his deck to 23. That's a turn.
It's not bad. And other than this Tarlord, that Amara winning the brawl actually put Rod in a much better position now.
Yeah, and this mind control is huge right now, because that's going to push 12 damage.
Wow.
All of a sudden, Illyri's on the back foot. This Stonehill Defender could help. She's gonna need... I'm not even sure what she could pull.
Another Tarlord, maybe?
Yeah, that would probably be the... No, she gives it up. Wow. So the Quest Priest has pulled out a win against the Quest Warrior. And we'll just let the players get into the next game. So that is one... That's one win for Rod on the Quest Priest. And he still has the Miracle Rogue and the Even Warlock against that Quest Warrior. So those... The Miracle Rogue seems like it could be a decent matchup. That Even Warlock...
Yeah, for sure. Although, if that Warlock gets down a Mountain Giant turn 3, although he doesn't have the coin, so he can't. But if he gets it down turn 4, just starts hitting her in the face.
Yeah.
That's his one opportunity.
Yeah, so looks like we're going to keep the shield block for Illyri. We're going to keep the Acidic Swamp Ooze for Rod. Seems perfectly reasonable given the deck
We have turned our curse into our strength.
None will survive.
Classic Baku Gen showdown. And we're going to start off the way you start off every one of these games with a hero power and the quest. So
hero power, quest, and emotes to go along.
Well, I mean, that's just making sure that you're ticking all the boxes.
Make a cute puppet.
Astonishing.
So Rod is drawing Doomsayers, but Doomsayers are not really what he's looking for right now. But I guess that's still lets him develop a board, and I'm not sure what he's setting up, but he is at least preventing an Acolyte or something like that from coming down. So.
And he's also kind of, unless she's fine throwing away a minion, it delays her quest from being completed as well.
It does. That is very true. And getting the Hooked Reaver, which is probably going to not be online for a while, given the way that he's playing Plated Beetles, but that's kind of okay too. You're not too sad when you're high enough on life that you can't play a Hooked Reaver. As long as you don't need it to save you at that exact moment, so...
But if I were Rod, I would probably want some more big dudes. His hand is great for dealing with, you know, faster matchups, but in this case, he's got to be the one trying to kill her before she gets the rag shot.
Yeah, and even just, like, early, being able to take some of that armor off is pretty key, and Illyria's already up to 37 health with the potential to go up to 41 if she wants to. Looks like she is thinking about drawing a little bit more with the Acolyte of Me. Or coining out Rotten Apple Bomb is perfectly fair, too. Rod does have double Spellbreaker, which will help. There's Mountain Giant. And the big boy's coming down right away. So that's what Rod wanted to see, but this Shield Slam's going to clean it up, I would imagine.
I was about to say.
Yeah, and with the shield block just to draw on top of it. Frothing Berserker.
Interesting. Wow.
Is an interesting inclusion, but it makes sense with all of the different things that are going to be, you know, damaging the board and whatnot. It's not an unreasonable inclusion. And Twilight Drake is also a big bot for 9.
Yeah, that's nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me.
I guess that is an interesting dynamic with the Frothing Berserker, is that if you do have to chew through the taunts, that puffs up the Frothing Berserker, though this Spellbreaker has something else to say about that, it looks like. No, he could actually Hellfire and trade, and that's not that might kill his dragon coming back the other way, though.
Yeah, I know he was you know, hovering over the Spellbreaker.
Yeah. He was definitely thinking about that Hellfire, but that Hellfire is going to make the Frothing Berserker big enough that it's going to take out the dragon if he tries to trade with it.
No, not Primordial Drake, Twilight Drake.
The other Drake. Too many Drakes.
The other Drake.
It's not Marsh Drake, which is the best Drake, but you know.
Ready, aim.
Yeah, Rod's got an interesting decision. There's a few ways to deal with this board, but none of them are really super clean. But it looks like he is eventually landing on the Spellbreaker, just trying to see if there's a better way to do it. Spellbreaker on the Frothing Berserker.
That makes sense because she's already at full health, so it's fine.
Yeah, because the healing doesn't matter, and it leaves a smaller minion on board. It's a heads-up play. Stonehill is welcome, as is that Vulgar Homunculus, for allowing that Acolyte to get a couple of cards if she so chooses. Looks like she's going to draw first.
Yep.
And Phantom Militia
knocks out 2.
Yeah, I mean, she's only got the quest at 1, so that can help in a couple of turns, just kind of speedrun it. Which she has to be thinking she's going to need to do that sooner rather than later. Looks like we're going to just try to take some of that health off of the Vulgar Homunculus. And that the Tar Lord's going to at least wall off the rest of the board. Oh, actually not going to trade into it.
Interesting. Also, so Rod does have Varin, and he does have Gul'dan, so there is some late game potential.
Your magic shall not save you.
Yeah, this other Spellbreaker, turning that Tar Lord into something with a giant butt and not a lot of heat to go with it. And
I mean, just like the dinosaurs of Ungoro's got a big head and little arms.
This brawl's gotta be really good. I don't see why you wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can brawl and then follow up with the Stonehill Defender.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like just the Spellbreaker's not the best result, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been the Mountain Giant.
Yeah, and she's got 2 good choices off of this Stonehill and another Direhorn Hatchling. Just give herself a little bit more value late game seems like the best choice out of there.
For sure.
She does have an Alexstrasza that she could probably... She can either use offensively later if things start to get out of hand in terms of the healing, or she can she can use defensively if she needs to. This Phantom Militia is going to use 3 ticks on the class, and then complete it next turn. Whole choice of ways to do that. And Rod's all of a sudden got a Hellfire and 2 Spellstones in hand. And a
Vulgar Homunculus. Fight like a Dryad.
Yeah. And,
yeah, what do you do in this situation?
I mean, he could heal up to full if he wants to. I don't know if that's the right play or not, but it's certainly something he could do. Looks like he's gonna hold on.
Our greatest strength.
It's still a decent body, and there's never a great time to play Greymane in these matchups.
Absolutely not.
So
you never want to see him in your deck, in your even deck.
So Illyri could drop a hatchling, play the weapon, and then trade off the weapon into the 2/4, the taunt into the 4/2, and then have a 50-50 on the Gen.
Yeah, that's her most optimal play, it looks like.
Yeah. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that she would want to do here, but I would imagine you want to just start hitting phase with this stuff.
I would agree.
I mean, you'd like to have a little bit more than 4 armor going into that, but I don't think you can... Oh!
Did she mean to do that?
I don't know.
Mind games. She's playing mind games with him.
Yeah. I mean, it might be that she's thinking... She's been pretty consistently emoting when she did... Like, when she made the other misplay in the Bro game. She did emote. So I think that's an intentional play. And I think what she's thinking is that she wants to have a little bit more armor before she goes. And I can't necessarily blame her for that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that she's going to have a whole lot of choice now, though.
I like that. She put taunt on just the Dread Infernal, so that, or he put taunt on the Dread Infernal so that Illyri cannot kill off Greymane.
Yeah, just protecting... And that's something that a lot of players early on will miss, is that they'll say, well, I could give 2 minions taunt, I may as well give 2 minions taunt, but in this case, giving just the 1 minion taunt protects the other minion really well, and there comes the range.
My oh my.
Yeah, this is getting... this is all of a sudden... Rod's starting to take control of this game, and we're trying to be in a better position to drop this Sulfuris. And I don't really see very many better options at this point, but she also is going to be leaving one of these minions up. I mean, I guess she could Sulfuris, Hero Power, Blackwell Pixie Hero Power.
And just potentially clear the board.
Yeah, or do 16 damage to face or some combination thereof, right?
Right.
I don't necessarily hate that, but it is a kind of an all-in play.
She leaves herself open for, 9+ damage, especially with a Hellfire in hand. That's, 12 damage.
But I wonder how much... I mean, Rod doesn't have that much burst in an even Warlock. And... if she can get that damage in before Gul'dan, maybe that's worth it.
I must choose.
I like it, but I don't know if that's where... It doesn't seem like where Illyri's head is at with how she's been playing very conservatively and trying to build up her armor total before getting the Sulfuris now.
She's thinking about Witchwood Grizzly. At this point, you figure his hand's not going to be much smaller, so you might as well.
Yeah. Block out some damage, draw some cards.
Plays around Dread Infernal.
Yeah, plays around it really well, but does not play around that Greater Amethyst spell.
Oof.
And that's going to clean up his board really well and start pushing more damage back the other way with it.
Now, she does have Alex Raza, and she knows that he's played both Spellstones, so other than Gul'dan, his healing is effectively done.
He might have a Shroom Brewer left, but that's 4. But I mean, Gul'dan is a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Sulfuris. So now at least she can trade off one of these minions with the base and get it down to a more reasonable shot with the Rag Shot. Do take out the taunt and then follow up with the Tark Reaper to protect the base. So, yeah, I like this a lot. And Rod's going to start with the Seals. And the Seals, at this point, are actually really significant because they're getting in the way of the Rag Hero power.
Right. As well as putting a clock on Leary because...
And it's going to make Gul'dan more impactful when it does come down, but...
I bring life.
Alright, there's Alexstrasza.
I figured we'd see her trade into the 6-3 to protect Alexstrasza. There's the Gul'dan. So this is an interesting decision point for Rod, because he can play the Hooked Reaver now. Now that you brought him down to 15, that turns on the Hooked Reaver. And I guess, but then again, it's still on. Because,
yeah, it's still on. The armor doesn't count.
Yeah. And he does have 2 taunts in the way. So Illyri doesn't have really any way to get through those taunts and get Alex to connect, other than getting really lucky with hero power, Blackwell Pixie hero power. But that's like 2 shots on a 2 and 6. I'm not feeling that gambling today. That's the worst one. And yeah, this Rotten Apple Bomb is timely.
I wonder what else. He probably does not want to tempo out that Blackwell Pixie.
Yeah, but it's not really going to block that much damage. Because Rod could just trade in with the 3-3 and the 2-4. I guess he is going to preserve that by choosing to go full on with the Seal to hero power that down. So he's going to protect preserve his taunts. War Axe is not what she needs right now. This is a scary board.
Yeah, so she's probably just gonna maybe hero power and Tarlord. Has she used 2 brawls already?
She used at least 1.
Okay.
She used 1. She still has another one in the deck. I mean, there is maybe an argument for Matriarch, War Axe, and hero power. The War Axe doesn't really do anything, but at least it lets you equip something, and a 6-9 and a 5-11 aren't that much different in this situation. In fact, the 6-9 will at least trade off a Dread Inferno.
What now?
Yeah, if he decides to trade in that manner.
That's irrelevant now, so... Yeah. So we're gonna try to... Wow, what a sniper that Blackwell Pixie is. Ooh.
It's not bad. I mean, at this point, though, she needs to get 3 of those shots into Gul'dan's face.
So Rod's got Azari online, and be interesting to see if he brings the Hooked Reaver down. Oh, he's going to get rid of the War Axe. Wow.
Holy smokes. Alright.
What a game. And all of a sudden, we're all tied up going into a Game 5. Yeah. Okay, so the players are going to take a quick break. I think they've earned it after that match. We've been going for nearly an hour already. So we'll just kind of come back and spend some time with you in the meantime. But that even Warlock, when it gets time to set up, is really, really strong. Yeah.
It just steadily produces more and more threats that become trickier and trickier to deal with. You know, it is, for all intents and purposes, the definition of a control deck.
Yeah. I mean, it's both, right? Because it's kind of a mid-range deck too. Like sometimes it just makes a 3-mana 8/8 and kills you. But it has so much sustain and it just can kill you out of nowhere. And I mean, even if he hadn't just, gotten there right there, he had the Hooked Reaver that was going to be a 7/7 taunt. He still had the Azari that was going to blow up the deck. Like, there were just so many weapons and so much reload once you get past that initial stage. It's just managing the beginning of the game to make sure you don't die while you're trying to get yourself geared up. That's the tricky part.
Exactly. And then steadily, chewing away at her health while healing himself. He played that very well. He knew that he had to apply enough pressure that she had to respond to it and kind of use that removal before it was, optimal.
Yeah. So coming up, we have what Rod's deck that we haven't. I don't think. No, we did see it once. Is that Miracle Rogue? So we have the Miracle Rogue versus the Quest Warrior. So this feels like it could really go either way depending on how the draws shape out of it, especially early.
Yeah. If O'Leary can build a big enough wall that Rod cannot get through, it might make it a little difficult for him. At the same time, there is Vanish and Sap. So,
yeah,
like they always say, miracles can happen.
Yeah, though I guess Sap also helps, get the quest done. So it's,
that's a good point.
It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic between the two decks, and I don't think I've seen a lot of this matchup. Maybe since like the Ungoro days when the decks were first, were first coming out. But It's kind of a cool blast from the past that we have Quest Warrior and Miracle Rogue that are both good, and I mean, just a lot of the decks in this first week of the new meta. Like, I don't know about you, I've been really pretty excited about what's possible. I mean, I just got to Legend with the Katharina Hunter, of all things.
Yeah, that was awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Morning.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm really impressed with, and it's kind of strikes me whenever they do one of these balance patches, like when it feels like we're just getting a lot of toys and we're not really getting to play with them, like how much just like changing the balance a little bit just opens all that up.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually was playing around with the questless OTK Exodia Mage today.
Oh.
Actually, I'm at a positive win rate. I think I'm at over 60%. So... you can play with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've played Quest Warrior, I played even Warlock, I was playing Elemental Mage today. It's a lot of good stuff. Oh, and apparently this is late breaking news. Rod said he's getting pumped for Game 5 with Jump by Crisscross. So I don't know what kind of expert analysis you can make off of that information.
Well, I'm first going to assume that is a song.
Oh, you're too young. Oh, this is back to when I was a young lad, and
I'm way too young.
Yeah, well, the thing was that they wore their pants backwards, and that started like a fad for like 6 months. The 90s were a weird time.
Is that the one that goes jump, 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 and it's like?
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and there's House of Pain also, and there I forget which.
Yeah, jump around.
Yes, there was jump and there was jump around. Yeah. It was a confusing time.
Well, I can't say I'm happy that I missed it, but
yeah, we were wearing our pants backwards. We had to blow into our game cartridges before we could start playing. It was
I do remember that. I'm not that young.
I mean, we were playing Battletoads willingly because that was the only game we had.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got past the first. What would it be called? Not mission. First level.
Yeah. I had very few games for my Nintendo, and that was one of them. And I got to the last level because that's all I did for like 6 months. Okay, but anyway, enough about Battletoads. We are ready to get into Game 5 now that the players have gotten and reset. And so we are going to see that Miracle Rogue versus the Quest Warrior, and this feels like it really is going to be, it could go very much either way, and I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
It's going to be a toss-up. It's going to come down to whether or not Rod can have a really explosive few turns where he can get past those taunts. And then for O'Leary, it's going to be getting the quest online as quickly as possible. But we see that Rod's starting out with Van Cleef and a prep in his hand.
Wow.
Plus he's got the coin.
Yeah, I mean, he could very easily... Turn 2, go prep coin, backstab. I mean, he needs a target on board, I guess, in order to do that. And the Cold Blood may have to go on the Edwin afterward. But that's, I mean, with one more draw, he very easily could be there to build a huge Edwin right off the bat. O'Leary does have a Stonehill Defender get in the way, and it looks like she's tossing away the shield block that's going to get her a Tar Creeper, which is going to help.
Yeah. Having an 8-8 or a 10-10 on turn 2 is not bad.
It's better than an 8-8 on turn 3. That's for sure.
Right.
Oh, this fan of knives is
Holy
a lot.
smokes.
We may be seeing some fireworks next turn. And O'Leary doesn't have anything to do yet. He's just going to armor up, and we'll see if that's what Rod decides to do. Eviscerate's also an option if he wants it. I would imagine he's going to save the Eviscerate, but... Oh, he's choosing not to. That's interesting.
Wow. Well, you figure she's going to have taunts in the way anyway.
Yeah,
but
I guess... What would that make it? 2, 4, 6, 8? With nothing on board, she could just shield slam it. So maybe he's waiting to get it up to a 10-10 and maybe work down a little bit of the armor so she can't just respond with hero power shield slam. Because that would be be devastating.
Job's done.
And this taunt's gonna put a bit of a damper on that. Oh, eviscerate instead of the fan of knives makes that a little bit more, well, I guess it depends on what he's doing. If he is going for the Edwin, I'm kind of surprised he chose not to backstab first.
The Brotherhood
that's
going with a modest Van Cleef at 6/6.
But it is just going to die on board, and I wonder if he thought about that a little bit more, if he would have gone for the backstab first. And maybe that was a deliberate choice, I'm not sure, but this, I mean, this is going to... Yeah. I would be shocked if O'Leary doesn't immediately shield slam. Oh! She's going to use the weapon and shield slam.
Done.
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
She's not playing Battle Rage, is she? I wanted to get that damage in on her face.
Yeah, so this is going to let Rod start advancing his game plan and get the Strider in so that when he does go off with the Gadget Sand turn, he's going to be able to start putting spiders on the board. O'Leary has a bunch of things she can do this turn to get in the way, though, depending on how she wants to approach this. And it does look like the Heart Reaper and the Hero Power to start rebuilding some of that armor that is going to be goes with that.
There's Leroy.
Yeah. So, Rod's like the Gadget Sand Auctioneer away from just blowing up. That's the only thing he's really waiting for right now. The coin and the Elven Minstrel to try to find the Auctioneer, though he doesn't really have many spells to go with it now. Does find the Auctioneer along with the SS7 agent. And O'Leary's only got 2 ticks off that quest. She can... I
wouldn't be surprised if she just slams down. Oh, going with 2 of them.
Yeah. He's kind of getting as many bodies in as possible. Vile Spine Slayer is no concern. That if you go all in on one minion, that you're going to be putting yourself in harm's way. And also, she probably wants the Apple Bomb to heal her, which it wouldn't right now. I mean, now it will, but not to turn this into a
Yep. So Rod's trying to find some more cheap spells to come to this Gadget Sand Auctioneer with.
Yep. And
could be also looking for Shadow Step. Leroy, Cold Blood Shadow Step.
Yeah.
Time-honored tradition.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to wait until at least next turn. If he found a prep, he might have gone off this turn, but...
Rotten my code.
Yeah, so now that Apple Bomb will heal her up to close to full, not actually full, and more spiders into the deck for Rod. And we'll just chew through this Apple Bomb and damage with the Cold Blood.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, get him. Yeah.
Yep.
O'Leary can just get some armor and draw with this shield block, which seems like, given the options on board, I guess that does lock out the Tar Lord to get in the way. Though I think if you were going to see a Vile Spine, you probably would have seen it last turn with the Cold Blood. Maybe not, because that would have been too many combos, so maybe it's just safe to just put this Tar Lord out. I mean, we can see that it is, but she's got to be worried about the Vile Spine.
These are the decisions that are really hard to make.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a Vile Spine yet. Think there might be one.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is for her that Rod's hand is smaller, so if and when he does go in with the Auctioneer, he's going to be, he's not going to have as many options, but this is 11 damage coming right now. No spell for Rod, so the Auctioneer is not going to be an option, but I'm not sure that he necessarily is too upset. That shield slash is big. That was a fantastic draw.
Incredible.
If you're a Leary here, do you just Alexstrasza him? Or is that not conservative enough?
I think it just dies, right? Like that would be the problem with that play.
True.
And I feel like you really want to shield. I mean, I guess on the one hand, you really want to shield slam that 7-3. On the other hand, you really want to have a shield slam for the Auctioneer.
I wonder.
And it looks okay. So it looks like she's gonna put the Prompting Berserker out first to get the benefit of the damage on the SI-70. Trying to get some more cards off the Sack Light of Fate, or at least soak 4 damage from that Spider. And Hench Clan Thug is good, but not necessarily what Rod wants.
It represents another threat.
Yeah. But it's a threat that's also fairly easily managed by just putting stuff in front of it.
And there goes her quest will be complete.
So she can finish the quest off right now if she so chooses. It looks like she's going to jump back. And that does give her an answer for Auctioneers. It does give her an answer for a lot of things. She could even go just throw down Sulfuris and take out this 4/4 right now if she wants to. I don't know if that's... She looks like she's thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want that Hench Clan Thug to grow.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is going to value trade through one of those 2/4s.
Right.
It is at the cost of 4 life, though. Here comes Spiders, finally. I mean, I'm surprised that we haven't seen one yet, given that there's 6 in the deck. And the Fan of Knives may be just enough for Rod to decide it's Auctioneer time, and it is.
Yep, time to go off. Let's see.
Get 2 draws off this Fan of Knives. And, oh man. That is not what you're hoping for off of that Auctioneer.
No.
And this Brawl is well timed.
Absolutely. Would you trade off the Auctioneer and then Brawl, or do you just go face and then Brawl, knowing that Miracle Rogue generally doesn't have healing?
I almost wonder if you trade your face in the Auctioneer, Alex's face, and just start going in. Because that brings him down to 10.
Yeah. I like that play a lot.
I mean, I don't know. It's risky, right? But, I mean, the other option is you can just Brawl and then trade off whatever's left. But that also takes your taunts out of the way. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. Kind of taking a halfway road by trading off one of those minions and making way for fewer targets for the Rag Shot. And all of a sudden,
I would expect Val's Clan comes down on Alexstrasza.
Yeah, I think you would have to. I mean, he's going to try to draw as much as he can to try to get more of the Spiders on board to try to confuse the Rag Shots, too. Trading off whatever's remaining, and then the SI-7 agent on the Acolyte. This is a very back-and-forth game.
Wow.
Rod's and Illyria has a Blackwall Pixie. I don't think you try it this turn, but she's got to be looking at that and thinking, I got 16 damage.
She probably wants to Brawl just to clear up some of those spaces, or you could save the Brawl for a later turn.
Yeah.
Put down a taunt, but then again, you've always got to be scared of that Spectre Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine... I feel like if I were her, I'd be looking at Brawl Witchwood Grizzly. It doesn't let you do a Rag Shot, but, I mean, Miracle Rogue has no healing, so it's not like you have to worry about Rod healing up all of a sudden.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that Witchwood Grizzly is going to have a lot of butt. It's going to be a 3/8, I believe?
Yes, if it starts at 12 minus 4. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Whoa. The unconventional route. But...
Yeah. Just going for the 1 and 5 and just winning outright doesn't work out. And all of a sudden, Rod's at 2. And he needs to get some butts on the board.
Who comes there?
He is, if Illyri picks up a weapon, he's dead.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, about Pixie into that brawl, though, because, I mean, that's the likely result. And, you know, if you're going to leave 1 minion over, I don't know if it was worth giving up that 8.
Oh, she's got another Black Gold Pixie.
Well, yeah, sometimes things just work out, but she can't really rely. I mean, she could certainly swing with the rag shot and see if she can get the 1 and 6 to start. You know.
Yeah, let's see.
And it does! Oh my god!
And that's
wow! I don't believe it! Oh my goodness!
That, you know,
whoa.
Sometimes that's just what you need.
Oh man, I'm almost afraid to bring Rod into this call.
He was so close to the reverse sweep, but she said, no, die insect.
Oh, and, man. I need a second. Good grief.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask if they want to come in for a call, and I don't know what the answer's going to be.
That was a great match, though, all things considered. Like
That was wow.
I thought it was going to be over a lot sooner than that. But
I did too.
To bring it to game 5.
Yeah. I'm still catching my breath after that. That was wow. Okay, so Illyri is going to join us. I haven't heard from Rod yet.
He's probably still swearing off in the corner somewhere.
Would be too if I was him. Okay, well they're both coming in, so
cool.
You know, anyway, I will leave you off and then we'll bring them in and we'll let happen what happened one day, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna drop you off and we will bring everyone in.
Yo.
Hi.
Hello.
So, Illyri, that was congratulations, and Rod, I have had trouble believing the stories about your luck, but I think I mean not that everything that Illyri did up until that point was not, you know, extremely well played, but a 1 in 6 on a rag shot for lethal.
I'm so sorry. I feel awful. I was sitting there and I was like, well, I have to do that shot first anyway. I was like, what? Because I was trying to figure out what I would do after. I was like, I have a weird feeling. I feel like it's going to be a very sad way to win.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I have 2 options. And they both involved like going as wide as possible because she had used 1 brawl, but not the other. And I was like, I gotta hope that it's in the bottom 10 cards and just like throw fireflies out for days because I had lethal. Yeah, I had lethal if like she hit something like one of the fireflies, and I had my Leroy and all that, and I'm like, well, so I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, that Leroy was a card on the left for a long time, and it just was walled out most of the game, and just couldn't find an opportunity.
That's the problem with that. Like, it's only a finisher, right? And so it's sitting there, and I can't do much with it because the quest warrior has so much pressure, right? It has these big taunts that the Miracle Rogue has to use resources in to get, like, you know, through them. So I'm like, okay, she didn't draw her 3/6 dinosaurs, or didn't play her 3/6 dinosaurs, so I wasn't super worried about the 6/9s or whatever. So I was like, I just have to go as wide as possible and just pray and hope. And I had another Cold Blood in my deck. I had another Eviscerate in my deck, so I had options for pulling out lethal in the long run. But yeah, I was like, Wicked. I always laugh because you were in my stream one day and you watched me play for a couple hours and you go, I tell people not to be tilted, but or like, you know, upset by these things that you were like, I would be pissed about that. And I'm like, you people don't understand. This shit happens to me on a regular basis. This isn't a random event. This is Rod's life in Hearthstone. I mean, it's like the most random stuff happens to me. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I had a blast, and I was like, I told Larry after I won my first game, I was like, at least I didn't get shut out, and so I was happy about that. And then the Warlock performed well, so I was like, okay, cool. And then I had a point where the Rogue was like, I'm going good, and then the brawls came in, and then the face shots happened, and I'm like, and I have no way to recover health, and I have no way to, you know. So
yeah, I mean, we were looking at the Blackwell Pixie coming down. It's like, well, you know, she doesn't really need 2 shots. She just needs 1 at this point. So it's, you know, fine to throw it into the brawl. I mean, I will say that the things that I told you shouldn't get tilted off of are like when they play a card that exists in their deck. When Rag hits you in the face over 5 minions, I think you're allowed to get a little tilted. I
mean, it was 2 turns in a row too, because like the other one was a 50-50 the turn before, right? She could have hit that, and then I would have little more. It's one of those things where that's that really strong part of that deck. It's like it can be, if you get lucky, and I'm not saying O'Leary did anything wrong. She played awesome. It was just you get lucky with those rag shots, and it's a huge swing because you're dealing 8 damage to something that you want to deal 8 damage to, right?
Yeah, like that there was that turn in the Warlock game where it hit both of the 6 attack minions, and
I was just like, whoa, okay.
Again, it's
crazy.
It's like she was like fucking missile, like heat-seeking Ragnarok shots. It's like, I need you to take this one out, and then I need you to take this one out. And that game, I got frustrated because I'm sitting there like, I need to get the Rin to win this game. I was like, I assumed at the start, and that's why I attacked as long as I did, because I was like, I need Rin, or I was like, I didn't have Rin or Gul'dan. I'm like, I need one of these damn things as a win condition, because I knew that she was going to be putting that pressure on, and they were both in the bottom like 7 or 8 cards in my deck, and I'm like, why are they there?
So O'Leary, talk about your thought process during that
game, though.
Yeah. Talk about your thought process just going through like those 3 games with the Quest Warrior, because I mean I imagine it had to be frustrating for you, you know, having those really dominant wins for the first couple of games, and then just having to, you know, whether you were gonna be on the verge of a reverse sweep or not.
Yeah, the thing that was really the thing that was getting to me the most with those is I think it was every match I had Baku like in my hand like by turn 2, and I'm like, useless, no thank you. Like, so last one I wasn't drawing any 5 drops, and that's why I played Shield Block as kind of a risk rather than playing the Tarlord, because I was like, I need more, like I need armor, and I also like I should be able to draw a 5 drop, and I didn't. Even then, I was like, I haven't drawn any, and we're like halfway in the game. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. This was like it was a fun match. Like, it was very fun to play, and yeah, it was good. But that priest game, I was just sitting here like, wait, I'm gonna do math. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna concede. Like, I'm not gonna sit there when you have Amar in your hand.
And I said, on behalf of both Jordan and I, thank you, by the way.
I sent Wicked the deck list earlier, and he's like, I'm going to reschedule everything in my day because you're bringing this damn deck. I talked about it in Tier 5 the other day. I actually ran into a mirror of that deck on ladder, and literally the first Archbishop went off with the other Archbishop in the other deck, and we hit the turn limit. We literally both players exploded. Yeah, so the 90 turns or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, there are things you learn when playing that deck, is that there's a 90 turn limit when both parts explode, and also that there's apparently a 60 card limit on your deck size, which is something that happens in those mirrors. Yeah.
I I laughed because they talked about it on Blizzlet one day where Jack and those two were Grievous. They run tavern brawls in Potato, Idaho, and they were playing at a tavern brawl and they like made the client crash by having too many Archbishop Benedictuses in the decks or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I was just glad I got to see Archbishop Benedictus come down.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
So, Rod, we were, Steve and I were both saying we were hoping to see a 10-10 Leroy Jenkins on turn 2 of that last game.
Edwin Van Cleef, yeah.
What did I say, Leroy?
Yeah.
That would have been even more impossible. But it would have been cool to see that 10-10 Edwin Van Cleef. Did you have reservations about playing that?
So the problem with that play, and I had thought about it, was there's the whole thing with that deck. If you throw out all your resources too quickly, you could just sit there and durdle for the rest of the game. Yeah. And I mean, she's playing odd warrior, so she can't run execute, but she has plenty of things that could get in the way. She's got taunts or days, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting there going, if I need things to activate my combo cards, and I need things to activate my auctioneer. And I was like, I thought about it, and I got that opening hand, and I'm like, oh yes. Yeah. But if she had played a minion, because I had that backstab in hand, I probably would have gone in harder, just because I could have done it up. But like when she didn't play a minion, I'm like, I can't, and I don't think there are. I mean, she obviously can't on turn 2, and she didn't have one on turn 3, so I was like, I just got to throw a 6/6 out there and pray for the best. Or maybe she had the 1/4, but
it was just because you eviscerated the 1/4.
Yeah, so I just needed to save my resources because that's what's hard about Miracle Rogue is not like just wasting your resources on something and then just in there durdling. I think it was the right play in the long run because it gave me enough combo activators and ways to play later on in the game. But so
it's a hard call because like on the one hand, like if you go all in and it gets answered or it gets like taunts thrown in the way, you just lose. On the other hand, like anything below a 10-10 at that point wasn't going to survive a shield slam, which you know you would have you kind of expect to be in her hand. So it's like, well, you know, how hard in do you go on it? And it's always a tough call. This is why, you know, I'm terrible at Miracle Rogue because I always choose wrong, and I'm like, you know, I'm the value guy, so I'll just go in like, how big can I make it? Let's go, and then it gets like executed. I'm like, oh well, that was fun.
Yeah, so that's my problem. Is like I usually do that. I'm the one who usually does that. I have a 78 Edwin. Oh great, he got Shadow Word Death. It's the same thing every time. It's like it doesn't matter. That's Edwin is one of the most like trappy cards in all Hearthstone, right? So
Illyri, during those Quest Warrior matches, I was having flashbacks to our match in week 2 when he told me. I was like, no. So yeah, well done in those games. You managed to hold on in game 5.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that whole game 5 was just so back and forth. It was exhilarating and exhausting. So well done to both of you. And Illyri, it looks like you're well in the driver's seat for being able to get towards a playoff berth with that win. Given your standing in the league, so you know, congratulations to you on the win, and well played to you, Rod, on the. It was definitely entertaining.
Thanks, guys, and good luck, Illyri. Jordan, you and I are gonna settle some shit next week.
Oh yes, we are. Do not worry.
I'm looking forward to seeing Devil Sword Druid versus I don't even know, something with Dawnmaster Dorian in it. I'm sure.
There may be a Togwaggle next week.
I would be disappointed if there wasn't.
I will be ready.
It was a really fun match. Rod, thank you for rescheduling. I know yesterday was a bit last minute to push it. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate Wicked Good and Green Speed being able to cast. I really appreciate that as well because it was last minute, and it is a weekend, and it is summer, so you could be out enjoying the outside, but you guys were here, and I appreciate that a lot. And thanks again to Ferris Biscuit for everything he does for the league.
Illyrian or time zone that I had never heard of before a couple days ago.
Wait, are you in
Atlantic? Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, well, they want Boston to move to that. I wouldn't actually mind that all that much, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, well played again to both of you, and thank you for playing, and thank you all of you for watching. You can come back. We'll be back. I will be back here with Bodicus at 9 p.m. with Ziggy Sarah versus Mike Lowe. So please do come back for that for the closing game of Week 5. And on behalf of Rod and Illyria and Jordan, I'm Wicked Good. Thank you for coming out, and have a great day. Be good to each other.
Wait.
Oh,
Rod and Illyria, where can we find you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm on Twitter at Rod_Johnston, and my Twitch is twitch.tv/Rod_Johnston, and I am on Tier 5, a Hearthstone podcast.
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Illyri, and I'm on the Hearthstone Innkeeper podcast every Tuesday.
All right, and Jordan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jordan_Lingo, and I also host The Daring Reporter, a podcast about podcasts. So if you like Hearthstone podcasting, you want a little directory to the week's goings-on, then check us out.
Okay, and you can also find me at Wicked Good on Twitter, and you can find my podcast Off Curve at offcurve.com, which I actually have to go and post another episode of that I recorded yesterday and didn't actually post, so I should go do that. But anyway, thank you all for coming to watch. On behalf of everyone, I'm Wicked Good. Thank you for coming. Come back at 9 p.m. Eastern, and be good to each other.